Hello everybody, I'm Hoarder Gamer, and today I'm going to be reviewing Farmhand number 1 by Rob Guillory. Rob Guillory is the artist of the comic book Chew, which is about the FDA person that's able to basically bite something and then get like information, psychic impressions of things that happened, including people. So this is, I think this might be Rob's first book where he's writing it as well as drawing it, and created it. You know, he's actually the creator of Farmhand. It's very good, and let me tell you why. Farmhand 1 starts out with Jedediah Jenkins basically being found under the soil in a farm, okay, by his 2 kids. And he explains this is how it has to be done, this is the only way, and his son reaches out to try to save him, and all of a sudden, like, as he touches his hand, there's like little bits of like plant, like twigs and things that extend, and then all of a sudden basically all hell breaks loose, and like all these things are coming out of the ground, and the Jedediah's like, you know, this is the Tree of Woe. It was really crazy. It's a wild opening, and that turns out to actually be a nightmare of Jedediah's son. So Jedediah's estranged from his father and has a family of his own, 2 kids and a wife, and he's basically kind of like invited to go back to the hometown and check things out. And while there's this great like Jurassic Park type moment where they're like taken through a cart, because the farm is now like making tons of money, and also it's this like tourist attraction type of thing. It's all about pharmaceutical research, and by pharmaceutical I mean FARM. So best way I could explain it is the awesome back cover of Farmhand number 1, which also explains what the next issues that are coming out are going to be about, which I think is really cool. It's like 5 months in advance, and it gives you a good taster. I mean, there's some really great dialogue here. Very well written, that really draws you in. You know, in just like 2 sentences, you're like, oh man, this is actually like we're on a wild trip, not just, you know, reading a comic book. So, our history. It all began when our founder Jedediah Jenkins had a miraculous vision that gave him cutting-edge scientific knowledge. With this, he created the Jedediah seed. The seed, growing into a variety of plant-based human organs. They are a safe, natural alternative to traditional organ transplants. No medications, therapy, or rejection treatments necessary. Healing the world. Patients from all around the globe have been made whole through our treatment, enjoying restoration to a quality of life never thought possible. Okay, well, also we find out that there are a number of spies that are trying to get the Jedediah seed. And, you know, saying it like that, it sounds really disturbing when I say the spy's a kid trying to get Jedediah seed. So they're so insanely advanced, it looks like a young kid, right? And he goes and he sneaks into a room. He opens up a compartment in his arm that now looks like it's like cybernetic, and he just busts off a piece of thumb. Because again, limbs and organs and things are growing on the trees, and he tries to steal it. Well, then when they catch him, basically he does all this amazing like karate and martial arts mastery that just blows people's minds. The cool thing is, though, that one of the security people goes to Jedediah and he's like, hey, we have a code purple, and he said, we have a weed, we have another weed. So it makes it sound like this happens constantly. People are trying to steal the seed, the information, you know, that what the seed is, to use it for their own gain. And then we find out when this person is questioned, he speaks Russian, and his language they show in a bubble is Cyrillic. So that's pretty interesting. And then what happens is, rather than kill him, Jedediah goes and takes an arm, rips it out, and basically a plant arm, not someone else's, sorry. Need to specify that. And just attaches it where it grafts with teeth into what's left of his arm. And like he's in agony and everything. And then a few moments later, it starts looking like a normal arm. And Jedediah says that shortly, you won't be able to tell that arm from a regular one. Okay? All of this is happening as the family is touring the farm. And, son has some ideas that maybe some things, darker could be happening. Doesn't want to kind of admit it to himself, I think, is the whole situation. And it's a good reason, because in the final couple pages of the book, which I do not want to spoil because they're insane, and they can be taken one of two ways, actually, based on what I've read, which is the entire book, but still, the way that's done, there's a causality that isn't exactly stitched together, for lack of a better word. So, yeah, I'm very impressed, though, with the book. Just to give you an idea, just a taster for the next issue. And this is cool because it doesn't ruin any future issues. August 8th. Come smell the Nozalis vulgaris, better known as the nose flower. It will be in full bloom. It's the only flower in the world that can smell you. And it does that for every issue for like the next 5 months. And I think it's one of the most clever ideas for a book, so it gets huge props from me there. And the artwork's beautiful. I really like Guillory's art style, very colorful, somewhat exaggerated, but very detailed, incredibly detailed, as you can see in the cover, where you have the hands ripping out of the ground. And I like that too, because it actually looks like almost like zombies or something. One of my favorite lines in the book has to do with the Jurassic Park style attraction, where they're actually on tractors with fake hay. Okay, but they're taken through, and my favorite line is this, from Jedediah. I was raised on the soil, just like my daddy and his daddy before him. I'm quite certain that's extremely literal. I don't think that he's just like a person that ended up with a green thumb, which he does have because it was grafted. But anyway, I think he's more like a plant creature that became human than he's a human that became plant. And my crazy theory right now is that opening nightmare sequence where they're trying to escape. He mentions the tree of woe and everything, and the kids are screaming. I don't know for sure if that is his actual son, meaning that it might be like a body snatcher thing where that's a plant version of his son now. I know it sounds crazy, but I know there's something insane going on under the soil, as it were. But no, I really like this. I think it's an excellent book, and I give this an 8.5. I'm interested to see where it goes. And just so you know, like 9s, 9.5s, those are hard for me to give. That's got to be just like nearly perfect, but this is really, really good. Like if you're only picking up a couple books this week, I would definitely get Farmhand #1. I was a little worried because I got to the shop like an hour late, and I figured it might be gone. Because sometimes, some books, issue 1s will come out, they'll only get like 3 or 4 issues, and people have been waiting for them. But luckily, I was able to get a copy, so I'm happy about that, and I was able to review it for you guys. Yeah, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm Hoarder Gamer, and yeah, Farmhand 1, 8.5, and it's really good. See you guys later. Bye-bye.